Um, Come back after surgery webinar. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad you guys are here. We got a ton of people. Oh my gosh, we got a ton of people in right now in Zoom. I'm also broadcasting this live to YouTube and Facebook. So I'm glad you're here. On this webinar, I'm going to be talking about getting real personal, talking about the lessons I've learned in the last 6 to 8 weeks, 6 weeks, having quite the health scare, having open heart surgery, and coming out of that much better and stronger than ever before. And I'm excited about a lot of things. I'm grateful for a lot of things. And I've learned a lot of things that I think are going to help you in terms of business and personal. So I wanted to do this special webinar just to share with you an update of how things are going for me, but also kind of inspire you, encourage you to start thinking bigger, to start thinking, how could you have the best life possible for you, for your family, for your loved ones? And I think you're going to get a lot out of this, okay? And I have a mind map I'm going to share with you here. I'll share with you the link to the mind map later at the end. If you stick around, please remind me to share a link with the mind map to you, okay? And if you're watching this later on Facebook or YouTube, I'll try to put it into the description or the video comments down below. But if you're live with me now, stick around, because if you want the link to this mind map, I'm going to share it with you. And I got a lot of cool things in there. I love mind maps. I've been putting my ideas together, writing down my notes, thinking about things that I'm grateful for, things that I want to change for me personally in my own personal life and in my business. You know, when you're facing death, now, I don't know how close I was to death, but it makes you think a lot about what if, what if this heart surgery doesn't go well? What if I don't come out of it? Can my family survive without me? It's not a fun topic to talk about, is it? But it's important to start thinking about this. Where are you now? We're all in different places. If I were to ask you your age, we'd probably be all over the place. You probably are here from, the age of 20 to the age of 70, and we're all in different places, but it's important to start thinking about these things. And it's important to start thinking about, do you have a business that can run without you? Do you have a real estate investing business, or whatever business you're in? This is kind of not specific to real estate, but do you have a business that can run without you? Or are you the sole operator? Are you the only one that can do everything? If you are, you might be in trouble. Hey, we've got Veronique from France. Glad you're here, Veronique. That's so cool. I've been to France before. We were in southern France near Carcassonne. We were there for almost a week. Oh, Ron is 80 years young. Cool. But near Carcassonne, by the way, we were in a really old chateau in it wasn't Airbnb, but it was similar. We found it on booking.com. Anyway, it was amazing. And while we were there in France for almost a week, we flipped a couple deals in the United States. It's a beautiful area. I loved it out there. All right, so let's get into this. I'm going to share my mind map here. And I've got so much to share with you. I'm excited about this. I'm going to share my screen. Boom. All right, now I'm going to share this mind map with you again later. And keep on typing your questions in the chat. I'll be occasionally, listen, I'm going to be asking you a lot of questions. Like, hey, what do you think of this? Do you like this? Does it resonate with you? What do you think? I'm going to be asking you survey questions, and I want you to respond and participate and be active. Cool. Even if you're watching right now on Facebook or YouTube, type in the comments, say hello, and tell me you're here. Tell me you're watching this. If you're on YouTube right now, type in where you're from. We've got people literally from all over the world right now. So far, Iceland and France. And I'm sure I've got people from other places as well. So that is amazing. I'm planning a trip right now to Prague in June of 24, and it's going to be awesome. Somebody's even in Colorado, Alex, at 10,500 feet. All right. Okay. So what on earth happened to Joe? What happened to me? I just want to share with you some pictures. If you go into my Facebook profile, just go back a little bit. In early May 12th, I went to Boston and Chicago with my son to go watch some Cardinals games. Now, let's not talk about the Cardinals too much here because they're in last place in their division. It's been the worst start of the Cardinals history in 100 years. So it's a little discouraging. All right. But anyway, in May, I started traveling a lot, went with my son. And then from there, boy, I went to like 3 or 4 different cities, just business conferences and stuff like that. And then I was in a 2-day mastermind here in St. Louis. And I started drinking a lot of coffee because it was hard to stay awake. And man, I got to tell you, I started having heart palpitations, a lot of heart palpitations. And then I went to Orlando. I did a workshop in Orlando teaching people how to run a business. And I was doing it with Tom Kroll. I started having a lot of heart palpitations and dizziness, started freaking out. Then I went to Puerto Rico to hang out with Jerry Norton. And I did a full day's worth of videos here. And, oh, wow. Kevin is here on the Zoom right now. He says, I'm in Palm Springs. I am also recovering from open heart surgery, so I can relate with what you're going through. Yeah, Kevin, it's no fun, isn't it? The doctor told me, he said, Joe, your surgery is, where am I at here? Okay, let me stop share. Sorry, I turned my camera off. I didn't mean to do that. The doctor told me heart surgery is like a marathon. The surgery is only the 0.2 miles. The other 26 miles is your recovery. It's just insane. You know, my heart is feeling fine. It's feeling great now. I have some things little going on still, but like I went to the doctor yesterday, everything's good. They're really encouraged. Cholesterol's down. Like I didn't have a cholesterol problem and all of that, but the chest pains, my gosh, when they cut a 6-inch in your chest and rip apart your sternum, and oh my gosh. Anyway, so it's been a difficult recovery, but I'm doing really, really well. So I'm excited about that. But I'm meeting so many people that have gone through this as well. So let me get back to my story, what I was sharing with you, what I've been going through. And I'm not going to be talking long about me. I'm going to be talking about you mostly on this webinar. So I was doing videos with Jerry, and on his channel, it's a huge channel, almost 500,000 subscribers. I only have 18,000 subscribers. So we did some videos for his channel talking about vacant land investing. And we did enough videos for about 8 videos, about 30 minutes to 45 minutes each. And they are being released every Saturday. So they're really good. If you haven't already, go to Jerry Norton's channel and look for my videos with him. There's been 3 released so far. There's going to be about 5 more. I had a great time with him. But while I was traveling to Puerto Rico and doing these videos, I was feeling a lot of these heart palpitations. Okay, Carson, see you later. Anyway, I was having a lot of heart palpitations. And while I was there, I flew back to St. Louis, then flew to Austin, Texas to hang out with my family on a little vacation. And while I was there, the doctors, well, my wife, I told her about these palpitations, and my wife is awesome. And she said, hey, let's call urgent care, or let's call the doctor to schedule an appointment. Then we called urgent care, and they said, you need to get in here now. So we went there, and fast forward like 5 days, I'm having emergency open heart surgery, and I'm feeling fine. Like it's the craziest thing, but my aorta valve is found out later. It's like, if you were to look at the aorta valve to somebody who didn't know me, they would have thought I was 75 to 80 years old. So it's a congenital defect. And so I have surgery a few days later, and 3 days, 3 days later, I'm walking out of the hospital with my wife. I was just blown away by the love and support of everybody. And look at my shirt. It's really funny. Do you see my shirt? There's like, I don't know what this is called, an echogram or something. And then there's a cow. So I got a new valve made from cow tissues. It's not a cow's valve. It's a valve, a new valve made from tissues from a cow. So 3 days later, I'm walking out of the hospital. And so that's been a month now. And I've been super blessed. And I've been thinking a lot about what are some lessons learned, and what are some things that I did, and what are some things that I changed here in my business and my personal life. All right. And here are some of the main lessons learned. And I'm going to be talking about faith, family, and friends here, but I'm also going to be talking about how to change your perspective on money and how it works. I'm going to be talking about recurring revenue and what it means to have recurring revenue in your business. I'm going to talk about how to set up your business that runs for you in spite of you. And I'm going to be talking about other things like the importance of good health insurance and life insurance. Okay, I'm not going to sell you life insurance, but I'm just talking about these things are important. So it's important that you get your business set up the right way. Okay. And I'm going to be talking about the importance of getting a coach. So a lot of this is, you guys are putting in some funny comments here. Some of these are like really personal to me. But again, I'm going to try to get to the business side of things as quickly as possible, because I know it's probably what you're mostly are here for. And Carson, you're still here. So whatever. All right. For me, God is always number one. All right. And I was just reading this morning in Genesis about the book, about the life of Joseph. And God honored him because he honored God. And if you read some of the detailed things in there that he shared, he always was giving credit to God for interpreting the dreams and getting the success that he had. And even when his brothers came back to him, he was saying, listen, God causes all these things to work out for good. And for me personally, God has always been number one for me. And I really do believe this. I'm not going to preach here for very long, but just wanted to tell you that if I'm just telling you, if I could not have gotten through this without God and my family and friends. God number one. All right. Super thankful for my family. And I met my wife at church. We've adopted all 4 of our kids. And my kids, my wife really were the ones that were, there with me in the hospital through the scary parts of all of this, pulling me through it, and constantly thinking about them and thinking about being there for them. Like, I'm not going to quit and give up. I am not going to let go of this, my life. I've got 4 kids. I've got a wife. And so, yeah, I've been super blessed. Now, also, I wanted to say this too. I was thinking about this. We've adopted all 4 of our kids. And if you know of adoption, it's not cheap. It's very expensive. And if we waited to be able to afford kids, we would have never had any. And some of you guys are young right now, and some of you are old, and you understand what I'm talking about. Like, if you are younger right now and you're thinking, oh, well, I can't afford kids yet because of this and this and this, you're going to be waiting a long, long time. If you want a rock of support for you, not if, but when you have difficulties in the future, financial, physical, whatever, you need a rock, you need a good family, and you need God. All right. Super important. So, and friends, I'm going to tell you something too. Church is the best place to find friends. I know this is a real estate webinar. Joe, what are you doing? Look behind me. It says real estate investing mastery. It doesn't say God mastery, whatever. But listen, I'm telling you, when you go through what I did, I've kind of been on the other side. I'm still coming through it. But like, man, my friends, especially my friends from church, the rock, right? And here's the thing, get you some friends, okay? Even if you don't want to go to church right now, right? Get some friends. How do you get some friends? You be nice. Just be a nice guy. Learn to listen to your friends. Pray for your friends, and they will pray for you. I had hundreds and hundreds of people praying for me. Friends from church, people at my church I didn't even know, people from my mom's church in San Diego, people from like just, it's just amazing and blowing me away. And what I'm thinking about this, like, what are some of the best ways to find friends? I appreciate all the kind words here, guys. Thank you. Go serve somewhere. If you want some friends, some of you guys don't have friends. Some of you don't want friends, and I get it. But I'm telling you, you need to. I don't get it, actually. But you need to get some friends. How do you find friends? Go serve somewhere. Go find some people that have the same values as you do and volunteer and serve. Some of our best friends, if not all of our best friends, we met through volunteering at stuff at church. Our church does a lot of disaster relief. We go, and when there's a tornado or a flood or something, and we go fix up people's homes. Met some of our best friends from that. We volunteer at church in the children's ministry or serving coffee or whatever. Like, there's a lot of things we do at our church, like cleaning up the campus, or we have a big fall festival and they need volunteers to serve at the booths and serving the food and whatever, right? So like some of our best friends that we're closest with today, we met from going out and serving, being a go-giver first. All right. And I'm not going to apologize for getting a little preachy here and talking about God and church and stuff like that, because I'm just telling you from my personal experience, this is what has helped me get through all of this. All right. So the importance of faith, family, and friends. I'm telling you guys, if you don't have faith, go get you some. If you don't have family, go get you some. And if you don't have friends, go get you some. Now, I've also been thinking a lot about my perspective of money and how money works. And this is really important. I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about this, okay? Success in business is really 85% mindset, 85% belief, and 15% technical. Because you could go and, I have some postcards here that we've been sending out for our land deals, and I'm really good. I like the technical side of things. I like the fact that I can go and get on my computer and send a bunch of offers, send a bunch of marketing. I can do all this technical stuff. But really what matters, and I find this more and more as I'm coaching and helping people do business, your success in business is 85% mindset, 85% up here. The most important real estate you'll ever invest in, I say this all the time, is the 4 inches between your ears. So your success is 85% mindset, 85% belief, and just 10%, 15% technical. I wish it was the other way around, to be honest, right? Like I wish it was 85% technical. But man, I'm telling you, if you don't believe that this can actually work, that it can actually work for you, you'll never make money in this business. And also when you're going through something like open heart surgery and you're in a hospital for a week, which is, by the way, really short. I'm 49 years old, and there's a lot of people that were in that hospital for a lot longer than I was. So but your mindset is challenged. It's easy to get discouraged. A lot of people get depressed after major surgery. And I'm off the pain meds now. So thank God I've been off of the pain meds almost a week. But that stuff can mess with your mind. Not just pain meds, alcohol, drugs, marijuana, like everybody's smoking pot now, if it seems like. That stuff messes with your head. Stop doing stupid stuff that mess with your head. This applies to business today, doesn't it? It applies 100%. Most of you guys, you know what you need to do. You're just not doing it. Stop it. You already know, like you don't need to buy another course. You don't need to watch another YouTube video, listen to another podcast, read another book. You need to implement what you have and what you know. Why don't you implement it yet? Because you don't believe that it can work, and you don't believe that it can work for you. So let me tell you something right now. I want you to type in the chat, or if you're watching this YouTube, Facebook, write this in the comments right now. I want you to write something down. All right. Number one, we're talking about business side of things now, right? I want you to write this down. I believe this will work. And I believe it will work for me. It's really, really simple. Maybe it sounds a little woo-woo, I don't know, but it really is important. Write this down right now. I believe that this will work. And whether it's you're wholesaling, you want to learn houses, how to wholesale houses, whether you want to learn how to do rehabbing or buy and hold or flip vacant land. I'm talking about like whatever real estate investing strategy you're interested in. That's most of us here are interested in real estate investing. Okay. I want you to write this down. I believe it'll work, and I believe it'll work for me. However you want to phrase it. You guys are writing it in right now. This is awesome. It's all up here, man. I'm telling you. You've got to get rid of your stinking thinking. Some of us, I'm getting preachy here now. Some of us thinking like we need to get a checkup from the neck up. We need to get our mindset set right. So we think, oh man, that's not going to work. That'll work for him, but it would never work for me. That's got to get out of your head. Don't think that you can't do this because of whatever. I'm too old. I'm too young. I'm too fat. I'm too skinny. I'm a guy. I'm a girl. I don't have enough money. I have too much money. I don't have any time. Whatever it is, we've all got these things running around in our heads And it's going to drive you crazy. You got to stop looking at that and start looking inside and say, all right, you know what? This is how I think. Or maybe you don't think this way, but I think this way. If that idiot can do it, then I can do it, you know? And whoever was talking trash here in the chat a little bit earlier, you know, this is what you should be saying. I think his name is Carson. This is what you should be saying. You know what? If that schmuck Joe, who won't get to the point and just keeps on blabbering on and on and on, if he can make money in real estate, then I can. That's what you should be thinking. Instead of like, man, shut up, I'm out of here. You need to be thinking, if that idiot can do it, can do deals, if his idiot's sons can do deals and make 150 grand in a couple of years doing it very, very part-time, then what's my excuse? Then I can do it. Do you see what I'm saying here? I'm not trying to be like negative. I'm saying, let's believe. And sometimes the first step is to writing it down. That's why I'm having you do it. Sometimes that's the first step. Like, you know what? I can make this work because it's working for them. This is why I get tons and tons of testimonials. I have thousands of testimonials that I've been collecting over the years because it encourages me. It gets me excited. When I'm discouraged, you know what I do? I go find a podcast. This is what I personally do when I'm getting like in the, doldrums a little bit, because it's not always beds and roses and rosy, whatever. Like, sometimes I go to podcasts and listen to other people's stories and testimonials of how they've had success. And that starts building my encouragement up and I get excited. So number one, I want you to get out of all this. Number one, believe that this business works. It's not a scam. You can make money flipping vacant land, flipping houses, wholesaling. Maybe you're doing short sales, rehabs, buy and hold, whatever I'm saying. Maybe you're in Amazon e-commerce, or you're doing network marketing or internet marketing or whatever. You got to look at the positive side and say, you know what? I do believe this will work, and I believe it will work for me. I believe it'll work for me. Otherwise, you're going to just be completely discouraged for the rest of your life. And you're going to be a professional student for 3 years, like I was, not making any money. I was a professional student for 3 years before I ever made money in real estate. It wasn't until I said, you know what? I'm just going to do what this guy says to do, and I'm not going to change anything. I'm going to change my mindset. I'm going to believe that it works, and it works for me, and I'm going to start doing it, doggone it. I'm going to stop questioning it and overanalyzing it and trying to change it. I'm just going to do what he says to do. I'm going to send this ugly postcard that I don't like because he said to send it. I'm going to send it to this list that he said to send it to, even though I don't like that list. I'm going to use his script. I'm going to use his contract. I'm just going to do it like he says, and I'm not going to change anything. I'm going to believe that it works, and I'm going to believe that it'll work for me. And then you do it. And guess what? Finally started making money, started doing deals. All right. That was Chris Chico's course way back in 2007 or 8. And Chris Chico and I are good friends still to this day. Some of you know Chris. So you got to believe that it works, and it works for you. Cool. Let's go back to the mind map. I kind of already talked about this. You're going to have a lot of doubt. You're going to have a ton of what if questions, but I want to tell you, don't be a yeah butter. Some of you right now are saying, I can hear it. You're like, yeah, but don't be a yeah butter. Stop it. Get that out of your head. Are there any yeah butters in here right now? Are you a yeah butter? Are you willing to admit it? Only I can see your comments. Say yes or no if you're a yeah butter. You're a no butter. Good. I'm seeing it. David. All of you guys, no way. You're not a yeah butter. Okay. Yeah, but it's too competitive. Yeah, but there's too many people doing it. Yeah, but I can't do it for whatever reason. You have been, but no more. No more yeah butters. We're going to decide that right now. Let me ask you something then. Who are you right now? Are you a broke Joe or a rich Joe? Who are you? You a broke wannabe professional student? Or are you a wealthy real estate investor? Who are you right now? Even if you are very broke, I won't say your name. That's not who you are. You know who you are, who just wrote that in. That is not who you are. I wish I could say your name, but I'm not going to say that. I don't want to embarrass you. But someone just wrote here, I'm very, very broke. That is not who you are. You're not. Get that stinking thinking out of your head. Who are you? Are you a broke Joe or a rich Joe? Type that in right now. Are you a broke Joe or a rich Joe? That's right, Jeff. The Lord is with you, and you're a success. You are a success, guys. Okay, you're a rich Jane. I'm a rich Sandro. Do you see what I'm trying to do here, guys? These are like, again, I wish it was 85% technical. I wish I could just share with you a spreadsheet and a software and say, here it is, go push these magic buttons and money will fall from the sky while you sit in your underwear in your parents' basement. But it doesn't work that way, does it? Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. David says, I'm an image bearer of God who helps other properties that people don't want anymore. All right. This is why I want you to say this loud. There's something powerful about writing this down. Maybe you're watching this later and you're in the car and listening to it, right? But like, I want you to say it out loud. I am not a yeah butter. I am not a broke investor. I am not whatever, right? I am a successful investor. I am a successful, wealthy business person. Okay, good. So let me just ask you this too. How bad do you want this stuff? When you're sitting on a bed in the hospital for a week, I'm thinking a lot about money. How will my family be taken care of if I'm gone? Will they have enough money? Now for me, I'm going to talk about this in a minute. I have plenty of term life insurance. I have plenty, probably more than I need. I'll just give you a general idea. I don't know if it's okay to share these types of things, but I'll share with you anyway. Somebody a long time ago told me you should have $1 million of term life insurance for every kid that you have. So I have 4 kids. That tells you about how much I have. But term insurance is super cheap in the grand scheme of things, especially when you get it when you're younger, which is what I did. Now term insurance, I don't want to get into all of the different kinds of insurance, but like it felt pretty good, right? You know what I'm saying? It felt pretty good to have some term life insurance that if I were to die from this, my family would be well taken care of. Okay. But what was my big why? My big why was my family. I want to make sure my family, my wife, is taken care of. I want to make sure that they can pay the house off. We are in a very, very nice house, right? I want to make sure they can pay the house off so they don't have to worry about mortgage payments. I want to make sure my kids all can have their college paid for. I want to make sure my wife can hire somebody to help clean the house and, a full-time maid or helper around the house. I want to make sure that she does not have to worry about money. I want to make sure that, when she's in her 70s or 80s and she wants to live in assisted living, that she has the money that she can do that. So my big why is my family. What's your why? Probably the same. But you got to make sure you understand what that is and make sure it's a big enough why. Are you going to decide today to be a massive action taker? You got to choose to be decisive and you got to say yes to yourself and to your goals today. And it's really not as hard as you think. It's not that far out of reach that you might think it is. We're going to be talking about this because my goal and part of this is to really obliterate any objections and doubts that you have in your head. But you got to understand too, like, it's not that hard. It really is not that far out of reach. My big why is my family. I want to make sure they're taken care of. Also, I have another big why. It's my employees, the people that are working for me. I want to make sure they're taken care of. So if I can't work for 2 or 3 months, which I have not been able to really work for 2 months now, can I still have a business that can run without me? Can income still come in if I'm disabled? This is something else you need to think about. You are more likely, did you know you're more likely to get disabled and not work than die by the time you are at a certain age? I don't remember the numbers. Let's say 70. You're more likely to be disabled and not be able to work than die before the age of 70. Don't quote me on that. I don't remember the age, but that is the truth. You understand? Now, statistically, we're all going to die, but what I'm talking about is being disabled, getting hurt in a car accident, having a stroke, whatever it is, right? Are you prepared for that? Do you have a business with recurring income and revenue? Do you have passive income? Now, for me personally, I'm going to talk about insurance later a little bit. But I also have disability insurance. Now, maybe I'm going a little bit out of, because insurance is important to me. My hospital bill for this stuff, by the way, if you don't have health insurance, it's approaching $300,000 for this heart surgery thing. And I've been self-employed since 2009. So health insurance is not cheap for me. But my big why is my family and my employees. It's, and my friends, but my employees. So just about 3 months ago, I've had insurance. I pay quite a bit for it for a long time. And don't get me started on the political stuff, but it's expensive. All right. Well, anyway, my premiums went up like 30%. And so I told my main assistant, I said, listen, I want to find a cheaper insurance. Help me find some. And she found this thing where if you get insurance for your company and for your employees, it's actually cheaper for you as the owner. So I got health insurance for my employees, and I pay for, I don't remember what percent, but I pay for part of theirs and they pay for some of it as well. But because of that, the insurance companies have special plans for small businesses. And I am actually paying less now for health insurance for my family than I was before when it was just for my family and my business. Does that make sense what I'm saying? All right. Are you going to be decisive? How bad do you want this? How big is your why? Some of you are like, man, I can't do this because I've already been talking about this. I'm just going to go through this quickly here, but life is going to throw you curveballs, setbacks, obstacles, and failures. You're going to start having, I'm not saying you are, but you might start having things like I did, where all of a sudden your heart's beating weird and you're starting to get dizzy. And then you go to the urgent care just to get it checked on, and they're almost in a panic. The doctor there told me, he said, Joe, if you didn't look so healthy, I would handcuff you to this bed and take you immediately right now in an ambulance to an emergency room for open heart surgery. That's how bad your valve is right now. But he let me drive home from Austin back to St. Louis, and we went right to an emergency room in St. Louis and had surgery or whatever. So, but you know what? Life, that's the way it goes. Life throws you curveballs. You get hit with setbacks and obstacles, but how you handle these things is everything. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to fail many, many times. But you know what? If you talk to the people that have the most success, they've had way more failures than successes. I guarantee you, ask them. And one of the frustrating things that I've seen so far in like Instagram and Facebook and YouTube is people that get started in real estate since about 2012. So in the last 10 years, people who have gotten started in real estate, everything they've touched has turned to gold. It's been an up market. Everything has been going up, 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 up. And so they think that their success is due to how amazing they are. Well, it's not. I would really strongly encourage you to only take advice from people who have bounced back. Does that make sense? Because any successful person is going to have times where they fail, they get a curveball, they fall, they're going to hit the ground. They're going to fail. But the really true successful people that you should follow and pay attention to are people who have hit the ground and bounced back up. I got started real estate investing in about 2006. Market was in a tear. Everything was going up. I had a bunch of properties, about 12 or 13 of them that I bought from bank loans, from subject twos, owner financing. And when the market crashed, I lost everything, almost went into bankruptcy. I had owed a bunch of money to private investors. I paid all of my private investors back, the grace of God. It took me about 7 years, but I paid all of my private investors back and I bounced back. And then I'm doing really, really well. And then for some reason, I don't realize how important it is to pay your taxes. I've talked about this on my YouTube channel. And fast forward a couple of years, and all of a sudden now I owe $520,000 in federal back taxes to the IRS. What? McCall, what are you smoking? I owed $520,000 in back taxes to the IRS, and that was accumulating over 2 or 3 years. Now, it's a long story. I won't go into it. If you're interested, go to my YouTube channel and do a search for Joe McCall IRS. And so, bam, I hit the ground hard, man. And it was embarrassing. It was humiliating. How did I get into this problem? I was making so much money, but I was not good at managing money. And all of a sudden I got this tax bill and I wasn't prepared for it. So I filed, a couple, 3 extensions, and then I finally paid most of that off. Right. But then I had a new tax bill come the next year, and I kept on making more money, getting bigger tax bills, and then interest and penalties getting on top of each other. Disaster. So personally, I'm not saying this to brag, because there's nothing to be bragging about. I've failed many times, but I've bounced back. And I only trust people when I'm getting business advice who have had failures and setbacks in the past. Because if they haven't had any in the past, they're going to soon. They will soon. Everybody has it. So it's okay. Right? I wanted to talk about that. So a lot of you guys have some objections about vacant land. I'm not going to be talking about this. But don't be afraid of your objections and your concerns and what's going on. So yeah, I'm not going to actually talk much about this. Talk about it another time. All right. I want to talk about designing your life first and building a business around realistic goals. And it's important. I'm going to be sharing with you some spreadsheets here. And I think it's going to be helpful for you. So you've got to have a plan. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And so you have to make your plan realistic, and you have to have things that you control in your life, that you can control in your plan. So most people set unrealistic plans and they set themselves up to fail. I think it was Tony Robbins said, I'm going to screw this all up. Most people underestimate what most people overestimate what they can do in a year and underestimate what they can do in 10 years. If you can, just Google that if you're interested, because I've seen a couple videos on it and it's fantastic thinking about it. Most people overestimate what we can do in a year, but they underestimate what we can do in 10 years. So it's important to have a plan. And I want you to write down, not now, but later, soon, think about this. What does freedom look like for you? Write it down. What does a stress-free day look like to you? Write it down. And what I'm talking about is, designing a vision for your life first, and then designing a business that supports your vision for your life. Let me say that again. Write this down. Create a vision. I want you to create a vision for your life first, and then design a business around that life. I first learned about this concept 10 years ago, and I've really, really done my best to take it to heart. And this has made a huge difference for me. I think this is one of the reasons why I've gone through this surgery as well as I have. Yes, this is being recorded, Kenneth. This is being streamed on YouTube and Facebook, so you can find it there. So I learned about this concept 10 years ago from Steve Cook and Life in Air, and it's a very important concept. But what do you want your life to look like? I want you to think about this, write this down later, and do this later. It's a great exercise. How much time do you want to spend with your family? How many dates a week do you want to go out with your wife or your husband? How many vacations do you want to take a year? Or how many vacations do you want to take a month? How many days do you want to work a week? How many days do you want off a week? What are the important things for you? Faith, family, church, friends, how many, do you want to go work out every day and exercise or walk or play golf? And I want you to put it on a calendar, design a vision for your life, and then design a business that supports that. Most of us have it backwards, right? We have our business or our job at the center of our life. And then life just kind of fits in all around that. We work 8 to 5. It's like 7 to 6. You leave at 7 a.m., get to work at 8. work for 8 or 9 hours, get home at 6 after rush hour traffic, and you're just frustrated and you're frazzled, and you only have a couple hours before your kids go to bed to eat and to de-stress and clean the house and mow the lawn. And right. So like most of us have life or our business in the center, and that takes up 50, 60 hours a week. And then we then we have our life that kind of fits in around that. What if we reversed it? And what if we said, all right, so I'm going to put my life in the center, and then I'm going to design a business that supports that. So what does that look like? Well, you could say, all right, every Wednesday night, I want to go out with my spouse for a couple hours to a nice dinner or whatever. I want to take every Sunday and Monday off. I want to take 4 vacations a year. I only want to work because maybe you're a night owl and you like to sleep in. So I'm only going to work from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. every day. I want you to put that on your, like, what is your vision for your life first? Because you want to work out every morning. You want to play golf 3-4 times a day. You want to go fishing. Maybe your thing is, I don't know, pickleball. You want to play pickleball 5 times a week. And then you see what time do you have left? That's where your business goes. So you may find, you know what? I only need to work 30 hours. I can only have 30 hours a week to work in my business. So does that make sense? What that for me is what freedom looks like. I get to work on my own terms. I don't have to make $5 million a year. I'm okay with only making, well, I'm not going to share with you my number, but like it's a lot less than that, right? And I don't want a stress-free business. I mean, I don't want a stressful business. I want a stress-free business. I don't want to have to work 60, 70 hours a week so I can make enough money and have all this stress so I can, you know what I'm saying? I want a stress-free, abundant life. So what does that look like for you? Okay, Laura. You can do it again, Laura. So I want you to create a vision for your life. What do you want your life to look like? And then design a business around that. All right. So what is your freedom number? And I want to talk to you about creating a marketing plan and then figuring out, all right, well, how many deals do you need to do to live your stress-free, abundant lifestyle? Some of you guys will say, I want to make 100 grand a year. I want to make 10 grand a month. Maybe it's $1 million a year. That's just your goal. But I want you to step back a little bit and think about that and say, do I really need to make that much money to have a successful life? Maybe not. And then I want you to create a plan based on those numbers. I want you to say, all right, well, if I'm going to live a stress-free, abundant lifestyle, what does that look like? Let's set up a plan for things that you can control. So I have a spreadsheet in here, and when you stick around to the later to the end, I'm going to share this with you here so you can get access to the spreadsheet. And if you have my course, you already have this. I have a thing in here called Stress-Free Abundance Calculator. And let's just look at this, okay? The average household income in the U.S., I Googled this the other day, so if it's on the internet, it must be true, right? The average household income in the U.S. is $70,784. If you double that, let's get an executive salary, $141,000 a year. So that's almost 12 grand a month. The average price in the home right now of a home in the United States right now is about $350,000. Let's double that. Let's get a really nice house, about $700,000. So if you put 10% down, your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance on this house would be around $4,200 a month. Let's say you get a nice car payment. I think $1,500 will get you a nice car payment these days, right? And let's say you're taking 3 to 4 vacations a year. Let's say each vacation is $5,000 each. I think that's pretty good vacation, isn't it? So that's $25,000 approximately for a real nice vacation every year. So if you total that up, that's about $19,600 a month that you need to make. And don't forget the tax man. Let's add 25% of that for taxes, which means you need to gross in your business $24,520 a month. Now, some of you may be thinking, oh my gosh, that's a lot of money. That's like 5 times what I'm making now. That's fine. So change the numbers. But I'm just talking about, like, if you wanted to live a really nice, stress-free, abundant lifestyle, let's dream big a little bit here, right? Let's dream big a little bit. That's about $300,000 a year. Okay. $300,000 a year. Really, when you think about it, it depends on where you are right now, right? I don't want to make light of this, but having been on the other side of this, I look at that and think that's not that hard. It really isn't, because I'm making more than that. Looking from my perspective, I'm looking at that saying that's not really that hard to do. And you know what's cool about that is like, oh my gosh, I don't have to make $1 million a year to live a stress-free, abundant lifestyle. I just need to make 300 grand a year. And some of you might be at like 50 grand a year now, and you're thinking, holy smokes. But let me show you how to create a plan to eventually get there. Would you be interested in that? All right. So we're now going to try to break this down into goals you can control. So then looking at this, let's say your average net profit on a deal is $8,000. Let's say it's $7,500. That's your average net profit on a deal. So how many deals do you need to make a month? How many deals do you need to do a month to gross $294,000 or $300,000 a year? Well, you need to do 3.3 deals. And let's say you need 30 leads per deal. That means you get a lead, you send an offer to every lead. You need 30 leads to do a deal. All right. That means you need 98 leads a month. That means you need 4.3 leads per workday. We're just talking Monday through Friday. And let's say you make offers on 90% of your leads. Boom, look at this. You only need to make 3.8 or 4 offers a day. What? What are you talking about, McCall? All right. So maybe you're doing, if you're doing cold calling, you're going to need more than 30 leads per day. If you're doing direct mail, you'll need about maybe 20, 25 leads per deal rather, right? So you can change this number. Let's say it's 40. Let's say you need 40 leads. You need to make 40 offers, which is insane. That means you need to make 5 offers a day to live an executive lifestyle of $300,000 a year. So I want you to start thinking bigger in terms of, okay, this is what I want my life to look like. I want to make $140,000 a year. I want a $700,000 house. I want a really nice car, or maybe you pay it off. I don't know, but your payments will be about $1,500 a month. And I want to take 4 really nice vacations every year. So I need to make this. And don't forget the tax dude. Maybe your tax, I'm not a tax guy. So like, let's say 35% for taxes. So you need to make $317,000 a year to live in to have a very nice salary, to have a very nice house, have a very nice car, and take very nice vacations. Does that sound good to you? Who's interested in something like that? Brian is saying here, that's exactly in line with what other people say who say make at least 5 offers a day. Does this get you excited a little bit? Or what do you think? I'm just curious. Give me the feedback on this here. Does this make sense to you? Do you like this? Type in the comments. Good. Okay, I'm getting some good feedback here. So you don't need to make $1 million a year. Now, I'm not saying $317,000 isn't that much money. It is a lot of money, but it's really kind of not. You guys right now, with what you know, you could easily, not easily, it's going to take work, all right? I'm not guaranteeing or promising anything. But guys, I'm on the other side, and I'm calling you back. I'm saying, hey guys, listen, I'm making way more than this. You can too. I believe in you. I believe that this will work for you. You guys said it earlier. You typed it in. I saw it. You said, I believe this will work, and I believe it'll work for me. So now we're getting to the brass tacks, whatever that means. We're getting here to like, all right, do you really believe it can work for you? Do you really believe you can make $26,482 a month? Yes, you can. And here's the cool thing, right? Making $317,000 gross a year is not that hard. We're not talking about a stressful business, are we? We're not talking about a stressful business with a bunch of, yes, I see your comments, Montri, but I've got hundreds of them here, so I'm not sure. But like, I'm not talking about a business where you have 500, where you have 5 employees and you've got, you're spending tons and tons of overhead and office space. And no, I'm talking about your net profit per deal. Let's say your net is $5,000 per deal. Okay. Guess what? Now you've got to make 8 offers a day. 8. How long does it take you to make an offer? If we had time, I do these on Wednesdays. I call it open office hours reviews on YouTube. You can find some of these on YouTube. Takes me, with me explaining and teaching, it takes me about 10 or 15 minutes to make an offer. It's just, see, this is the thing. Your speed to income is directly proportional to the number of offers that you make. Let me write that down right here. Your speed to income is directly proportional to the number of offers that you make. Write that down. Your speed to income is directly proportional to the number of offers that you make. What does this have to do with being in the hospital and thinking about, eternal things and long-term perspectives and faith, family, and friends and all that? Here I am in the hospital bed thinking, okay, I can't make offers right now. Can I get somebody else to make offers for me? So I've designed a business. Yeah, very good, Ed. Ed brings up a great point here. There was a major study that showed that up to $500,000 annual in revenue, happiness grows drastically, but after that, it practically levels out. AB's asking a question here. If you have to make 5 offers a day and run your business also, how many hours a day does that translate to? It depends. 5 offers a day, you should be able to do that in a couple, 3 hours a day, 3 to 4 hours a day. It's a part-time thing. I'm not talking about losing your nights and weekends. Unless you already have a full-time job, I hire virtual assistants that kind of do this for me. But yeah, so you get what I'm saying here. Your speed to income is directly proportional to the number of offers that you make. And your numbers may be different. Let's say it's 30 offers. You need 30 leads per deal. And you make offers on 85% of the leads that come in. You need to make 6 offers per weekday. So if you're doing this 6 days a week, that's only maybe 4 offers a day. So in my course, I teach you how to make offers. Like, you may not have a budget, but this is net profit after direct mail. Like, you should be shooting for minimum target profit on your deals of 10 grand. We've got 2 deals that we just did where we netted $23,000 on both of the deals, on each of them. And they were assignments. So some of them might be smaller. Some of them are going to be bigger. We're working on a deal right now where we might make about $70,000. Okay. That's what happens when you make 5.9 offers a day. Do you get what I'm saying? Are you picking up what I'm laying down? Okay. Yeah. Good. Now we're going to be talking about a marketing plan here. Should we talk about it now? No, I'm going to talk about it later. I'm going to go through that spreadsheet a little bit more detail on my next thing here. Okay. I want to talk about this too. If you don't have recurring revenue, you don't have a business. This is something I thought a lot about, and I'm going to be giving you more details and information about a marketing plan. And it's in that same spreadsheet I showed you. Now, recurring revenue, what is that? That just means it's money that's coming in and you're not working for it. So it's passive income, right? Where does passive income come from? It comes from a lot of different places. Rental properties, selling your vacant land on notes with owner financing. And yeah, so for example, I did this spreadsheet once. Oh yeah, this is the same spreadsheet. Okay, I keep on referencing the spreadsheet, and you can see on the bottom here, I've got about 5 or 6 tabs on there. But one of the things I want to show you is, let's look at an example deal for vacant land, okay? I'm going to zoom in a little bit more here. And let's say it's a 1 acre property and it's worth $15,000. I'm going to make an offer for $5,200. And if I sell it with owner financing, I'm going to sell it for 15 grand. If I sell it with cash, I'm going to sell it for 13,500. Do you see that there? All right. It's worth 15 grand. I'm going to list it. I'm going to make an offer for 5,250, and I get 1 out of every 30 offers accepted, let's say. But this is a deal. And I want to show you how many, the point of this is, we're talking about recurring revenue, passive income. I'm going to show you how easy it is to get to $5,000 a month in recurring income with notes. Okay. So if I sell it with cash, I'm going to make, I'll sell it for 90% of what I bought it for. Actually, this one, I'm going to buy it at about, the cheaper it is, the bigger my discount is. Yeah, you know, this, if it's worth 15, I'm going to be making an offer around $3,000 to $4,000, depending on where it is. It's usually around 25 to 35% of what it's worth. I have an average of about $1,000 in closing costs. I pay realtors commissions to sell my deals for me. Again, I'm building my team. I'm going to talk about this later. And so my total money into the deal, my cash, if I wholesale this deal, I'll make $7,250 net. That's before direct mail costs. After direct mail, usually you spend about $500 to $1,000 in direct mail per deal. So my net on this deal will be about $6,000 approximately after direct mail costs and VAs. All right. But anyway, if I sell this deal with owner financing, if my goal is recurring income, instead of selling my deals for cash, I sell them with owner financing. Check this out. So let's say I sell it with owner financing. I'm going to sell it for 5 years at 10% interest. I'm going to try to get 10% down, which means my cash flow, my monthly cash flow is $2,800. Now, note, my cash out of pocket is $4,750 because I'm buying it for $3,750. I have closing costs. I have realtor commissions. So my cash out of pocket is $4,750. If you don't have this cash right now, you know, you can borrow it from a private investor. You could put it on a credit card. It's easy to get this money, and you'll pay maybe about, let's just say 10% interest to a private investor. So subtract these numbers by $500. But look, maybe $1,000. You're going to be collecting in monthly payments $286. Look at the numbers here. Your first year cash on cash return is going to be 79%. With houses, you're lucky if you can get 10% cash on cash returns. Your total ROI on this deal will be 200%. Now look at this. Let's say your monthly goal was $5,000 a year. $5,000 a month. So that's $60,000 a year. How many of these notes would you need? And let's say you did 2 of these deals a month. It would only take you 8.7 months to get to $60,000 a year. $5,000 a month in recurring revenue. You would only need to do, let's say you did 1 of these deals a month. It would take you 1.5 years to get to $5,000 a month in recurring revenue doing one of these typical land deals. Is that crazy? Or is that awesome? Yeah, Marvin. Okay. I just wanted to show you this. It's not that bad. Let's say you wanted to make $100,000 a year and you did 2 of these deals a month. In 14 or 15 months, you could be making $100,000 a year in passive income with one of these typical land deals, selling them on owner financing. Come on. This is why I love this business. This is why I love this business. Now, you can also get recurring revenue from affiliate products and services. And this is what I do a lot. I'm not going to give you my specific numbers, but I'm doing really, really well. When I sell things like FreedomSoft, and I use FreedomSoft, but I also sell it and I get commissions from that. I use Priced, I use PropStream, I use different mailing companies. So I only recommend services that I use and I get affiliate commissions from them. I would still recommend these companies even if I didn't get paid for it. But somebody, again, I heard someone say this a few years ago. If you don't have recurring revenue, you don't have a real business. If you don't have recurring passive income, recurring revenue, you do not have a real business. Wholesaling is great. You make great, quick cash, but your ultimate goal is to take that wholesaling fast cash and turn it around into cash flow. You need to take your piles of cash. You need to have piles of cash and streams of cash. Does that make sense? So there's a lot of ways to get streams of cash. I want you to start thinking about this and start asking yourself this question. How can I grow my recurring revenue? Maybe it's rental properties. Maybe it's selling and financing Notes, doing private hard money lending. That's another way to do that, right? Private lending. If you may have your own money, you have somebody else you can borrow money, you be the middleman, the broker inside in between. What are some ways that you can start creating recurring revenue in your business? Super important. Dave is asking for these spreadsheets. Yes, you can get them in the mind map. I'm going to share this mind map with you later if you stick around to the end. Now, it's important to set up your business to run for you in spite of you. This is something I was thinking a lot about as in the hospital bed. And even before I had the surgery, I had a lot of phone calls with some friends and my team. And I was like, all right, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to be out of commission for a couple months. So what do we need to do? And it's important to start thinking about this. And I say this all the time. You're not in the real estate investing business. You're in the marketing business. So you need to set up your marketing to run consistently without your involvement, in spite of you, for you, and in spite of you. So it's important to set a marketing schedule, set it and forget it, and have a scorecard so your team can do this for you. I'm going to break this up here because I call this the 3 keys to success in business: marketing, automation, and delegation. Write those 3 things down: marketing, automation, and delegation. And by the grace of God, I feel like I've done a pretty good job of this, setting this up in my real estate business, in my coaching business, and other affiliate businesses that I have. I'm always thinking in terms of marketing, marketing, marketing. I'm not in the real estate investing business. I'm not in the coaching business. I'm not in the affiliate business. I am in the marketing business. And whenever I stop marketing, I start losing money. And this principle of momentum is so important to understand. So in marketing, it all starts with marketing. And when you're in the land business, it starts with selecting the right counties and having a simple marketing plan. So let me share with you this marketing plan. This is the same spreadsheet I've been sharing with you before. It's just another little tab here. So if I go here on simple marketing plan, this is really important. This is probably one of the most important things I've been talking about on this class. Monthly income goal. Let's say your average monthly income goal is $8,000. You want to make, well, it's 8,300. That's $100,000 a year gross. And so let's say your average net profit on a deal is $5,500. That means you need to do 1.5 deals a month. And if you have to make an average of 30 offers to get one deal accepted, let's be conservative. Let's say 40 offers to get one deal accepted. That means you need to make 60.4 offers per week, per month, or rather 60 offers a month, 15 offers a week, 3 offers a day. And let's say you make offers to 90% of your leads. That means you need to have 67 leads a month, 17 leads a week. You need 3.4 leads a day. Do you see where I'm going with this? This is really important. Really, really important, guys. I'm talking about setting things up that you can control. You can't control that your average net profit is going to be $5,500. You can't control that you're going to do 1.5 deals per month. You can't control that you need to make 40 offers to do one deal, but you can control how much marketing you're doing to generate the minimum number of leads that you need. Does that make sense? This is really critical and important. We've already talked about the mindset stuff. Now we're getting into the technical stuff. So you need a marketing plan that gets you 3.4 leads a day. Now, let's say, I don't like calling it cold calling. Let's call it prospecting. All right. So let's say half of your leads come from direct mail. Half of your leads come from prospecting. Prospecting could be cold calling sellers. It could be emailing realtors, calling realtors. It's just outbound marketing. Instead of waiting for people to respond to your letters and postcards, you're outreaching to them. So that means you need 8.4 leads per week from direct mail. And let's say your average response rate is 1.5%. I'm being conservative here. That means you need to send about 559 postcards or letters per week. Cool. Now, again, I'm going to change this from cold calling to prospecting. This could be to sellers, or it could be for realtors. You see what I'm saying here? I want to just make sure this is good, because cold calling is like a 4-letter word. I don't like cold calling, and that's why I don't do it. All right. So let's say you get, so you're going to need 8.5 leads per week from prospecting. And if you spend, how many leads do you get from a typical hour of prospecting? Believe it or not, it's way, way better for land than it is for houses. In our experience with houses, when we're doing cold calling, either us or our VAs, we get about 1 to 2 leads per, it's hard to say, per 2 to 3 hours of cold calling. With land, we're getting 5 to 6 leads per 4 or 5 hours of cold calling. So we're getting about 1 to 2 leads per hour of cold calling. So let's just say, let's be conservative here. Let's say we're getting 1.5 leads per hour of prospecting. Maybe it's outreach to a seller, outreach to a realtor. Hey, do you want to sell your property? Is the price negotiable? Would they accept something? Would you accept something in this price range? They say yes, whatever. And you send an offer. So every 1.5 hours of cold calling or texting or emailing, whatever, you're going to get that number of leads per hour of doing that. Does that make sense? Okay. So how many hours of prospecting per day do you need to do? Bam, there it is, 1.1. How many minutes is that? You need to spend 67 minutes a day per weekday. I'm doing 5, right? Per weekday. Now, boom, there we've got it. Do you see what I'm doing here? Let me highlight this in green. Here we go. This is what we're talking about. This is now your marketing plan. It's real simple. Every week, you're going to send 500 letters or postcards a week. And every day, you're going to spend an hour cold calling, prospecting, realtors, and sellers. And if you do that, that's what you can control, right? If you do that, guess what? You're going to start making $100,000 a year. Who wants to sign up for that? And yeah, what if you don't want to do the cold calls? Yes, you can get a VA to do it for sure. That's what we do. We have VAs that do cold calls for us. But I'm telling you, it's faster if you just do it yourself. Bite the bullet, just do it yourself. It's not that hard. It's not overwhelming, is it? Now, let's say, again, remember we did the stress-free abundance thing here, right? And you want to make $26,000 a month. Well, what do you need to do then? Let's write this down here. $26,000 a month. Your net is $5,500. It means you need to do 4.7 deals a month. When you're at this level, well, let's just keep it at 40 offers per deal. All right, so you need to get 10.5 leads per day. Okay, what does that mean? Well, you need to send 1,750 postcards a week. Guys, I know a lot of people right now that are killing it in vacant land and are sending about 10,000 postcards or letters a month, about 2,500 letters a week. All right, so that means you need to send 1,750 postcards a week, and you need to do about 3.5 hours of prospecting per weekday. Could you do that? Well, yeah, it's going to cost a lot of money. It's going to take a lot of time, but guess what? You'll be making your stress-free, abundant lifestyle. And you could do this with just one VA. It's not that hard to do this. And remember, our net after direct mail is $5,500. So this is calculating all of that. You can't get here overnight. You're going to grow into this. Just focus on doing your first deal. But I hope you see this, like, this isn't that hard. It's not that complicated. And when I look at this, Nicole's asking, where do we get the money for marketing? You get it from your deals. You get it from the profits in your deals. Yeah. That's it. Brian says here, I have a VA for a long time that does cold calling for only $4 an hour. Yeah. And there's companies that you can hire that you can do the cold calling for you. But you just get this from, first, you may not have any money for marketing. So you're just doing cold calling and dealing with and networking marketing to realtors. You get your first deal, you reinvest 25% of the profits into marketing, you do some mail, do another deal, reinvest another 25% of your profits into marketing, into direct mail, you do more direct mail. So you reinvest your profits back into marketing, then pretty soon every month. I mean, guys, listen, $1,750 a week times 4, that's only 7,000 postcards or letters a month. That may sound like a lot to you, But there's a lot of investors right now that are doing 10, 20,000 a month, and they're killing it. They're making tons of money. So it's not that hard to do. So you may not have the money to start with this right now. Even if you had the money, I wouldn't recommend starting immediately sending 2,000 letters a week. You got to get the processes and the systems in place. All right, let's move on. You got to have a simple marketing plan. And the key to making marketing work is consistency. And when I look at this marketing plan, I don't get overwhelmed. I think, all right, I'm not going to ask how, I'm going to ask who. Who can I get to do my letters for me? Who can I get to do my cold calling for me? You know what? You could have a mail house do all your letters for you. You could have a VA do your cold calling for you. You could have a VA, instead of cold calling, maybe send emails every day to realtors of older listings and make them a soft pass offer. Okay. So get someone else to do that stuff for you in spite of you. The other key to this is automation. It's important with systems and tools and automation, you keep them really, really simple so that you have no leads left behind and nothing falls through the cracks. There's no way I could be doing what I'm doing in my real estate investing business without FreedomSoft. So I really recommend this. It's an all-in-one platform. They've just added a brand new direct mail engine into it. You can skip, trace, and cold call right from there, and it does automated follow-up for you. So if you're interested in FreedomSoft, I use this. I do make a commission from it, but I really recommend you check it out, freedomsoftjoe.com. That's really all you need for automation. But you also need delegation. And this is where you don't ask how, you ask who. You guys, many of you need to step away from the computer. You need to start focusing on $500 an hour activities, not the $5 an hour activities, which means you've got to have a good team. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time in this, but thank God, as I was thinking about all that I'm going through here, like I have a really, really awesome, amazing team. A really amazing, awesome team. And how do you find them? Well, it starts with virtual assistants. In the course, I talk about this a lot. I just have to go through this here quickly, but you can find good VAs on Upwork or onlinejobs.ph. It's important that you pay your VAs well. I hire 2 or 3 at a time. I test them and then I let the ones go. And you can also let us train them. I have my VAs go through the FreedomSoft tutorials. I have my VAs go through my courses. I have them join in our coaching calls. Like I want them to learn the business just like I am. You still need to understand the process, how it goes, but let your VAs be the FreedomSoft experts. You don't have to be the one who understands everything. Get VAs that can do it for you. Okay. JV partners. I have never done a real estate investing deal where it was 100% on my own. I've always partnered with people. In my land business now, I partner with Matt Bills. I do the marketing, I pay for the marketing, I build the systems and all of that. He then, thank you, Michael. He then works those leads. Okay. He's good at what I'm not good at. And I stopped asking, how can I do this? And started saying, who can I do this? Who can do this for me and with me? And so JV partners are really important. Also, who's on your team? If you're doing real estate, you need to have realtors, other investors, virtual assistants, local assistants. I try to outsource literally 100% of my business to other people. We talked about this at the very beginning. Somebody was here from France. And when I was in France, do you think I was the one on the phone talking to sellers or making offers? No, I had virtual assistants and people in the United States that were helping me do these deals. And I was partnering with other investors. I was partnering with local wholesalers. Okay, so marketing, automation, delegation. I want you to write those 3 things down. That's the key to success in this business. All right. Also, I'm going to talk about, it's important to get your business set up the right way. Some of you have got this already figured out. Some of you haven't, but it's really important that you get your entities and your assets structured properly in case worst case happens. Now I want to encourage you, I partner with Prime Corporate Services. If you go to joemccall.com/LLC, joemccall.com/LLC. I'm going to put that link here in the Zoom chat for you guys. I really encourage you, joemccall.com/LLC. Just schedule a call with them, get on the phone and talk with them. They'll help you with setting up your structures, your entity structures, helping you for tax savings and funding your business and things like that. I really recommend talking to those guys if you haven't already. Now, let me talk about the importance of health insurance, life insurance, and disability insurance real quick. And then we're going to wrap this up real soon here. Oh my gosh. I don't know what I would do if I didn't have health insurance. It's approaching about $300,000, my total bill for this open heart surgery that I had. I've got good health insurance. Personally, right now, I use Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield. They've got a great program if you have employees. I have about 5 employees, and I pay for I don't remember the percentage that I pay, but the portion that I do pay, in addition to what I pay for our own family, is less than what it was when I was just paying for my own family's insurance with another company. Okay. So if you have a business right now, you have employees, you probably already figured this out, but start thinking about this, because there's programs out there. You just talk to a health insurance broker or somebody who does this stuff. Get yourself some good health insurance. Let me tell you something too. If you can't afford traditional health insurance, check out these 2 companies. One of them is MediShare. Now, it's not health insurance. You cannot call it health insurance, but they've been around since 1993, and you can save a lot of money. It's a share. It's health care sharing is what it is. Okay, so I'm going to put a link to this in the mind map. MediShare, and there's another one called Samaritan Purse Health. It's not health insurance. It's called Christian Healthcare Sharing. Now, some of these you have to be Christians, some of them you don't. Doesn't matter. But I want you to check these 2 things out, because you can get good coverage with these. That it's going to be about half the cost of traditional health insurance. And what happens is you depending on the program, they do it differently, but you basically pay, like you tell the hospital, I'm paying for cash. They usually put you then on a payment plan. So you have 30, 60, 90 days, whatever, to pay it. You submit your bills to MediShare or Samaritan's Ministries, and then they pay it for you. That makes sense? So it's not health insurance. Yeah, some of you guys have Samaritan and you like it very much. It's a health sharing program. Leah is asking, who do you use for small business health insurance? I'm using Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield. We just started them in April, and I had my surgery in June. Now, my other insurance I used to have would have covered it also, but I'm just telling you guys, if you don't have health insurance, it's important that you get it. And if you can't afford, like we pay on average, I'll just tell you how much we pay on average for my family of 6. We pay on average of about $1,700 a month for our family of 6. It was at $1,800 a month. It was going to go up to $2,200 a month with our former plan. But when I looked at getting insurance for me and my employees, even after my share of what I pay to help the employees and then what I pay for my own family, it's now $100 less than it was before. So it's now only $1,700 is the total that I pay for my family's insurance and my employees, whatever portion that I pay for them. So it's an amazing program. If you can't get all of that, check out MediShare, check out Samaritans, and there's other organizations that do these as well. Okay. Super important. Also, life insurance, term life insurance. There's a million different companies that sell term life insurance. For me, my goal, maybe this was crazy. Some people said this is dumb, but my goal was to have $1 million in term life insurance for every kid that I had. That's probably overkill, but it's kind of nice to have, right? It's kind of nice when you're looking at open heart surgery and you don't know if you're going to be able to live through it, or you're going to die of a heart attack or whatever. Like my family's going to be taken care of, right? I talked about that at the beginning of this webinar. The other thing I want to recommend you check out, it's not cheap, it is expensive, is disability insurance. If you're self-employed, most of you have a job, you get some kind of disability, but this is important. It's long-term disability insurance. It's not cheap. I don't remember, but I pay a lot of money for this, but it's nice to have. If I were to have something happen and I could not work, it takes about 3 to 6 months for it to actually start kicking in. But it'll cover a very large portion of your salary. Okay. So if you haven't thought about that stuff, start thinking about it. And I'm going to talk real quick about the importance of getting a coach. And then I'm going to be talking about a new program I have if you're interested. Okay. You ready? You guys still with me? You still awake? All right. I love it. I want to encourage you guys, stop trying to go at it all alone. You need a shortcut to success. Now, you might be in LA and you want to get to New York. You could just get in a car and drive, right? But that's going to take you a long time. You're going to have to get a car. You're going to have to pay for gas, maintenance, tires on that car. It's going to be a lot of driving. It's going to take you probably a couple weeks, unless you're crazy and you do, 15 hours of driving a day. I don't know, but you could drive. In fact, let's look at this. If I'm in LA and I want directions to New York City, how long will that take? Oh, it's so long. Google's working on it. Driving directions. Give me driving directions. Leave now. Okay. There it is. It'll take me 41 hours of driving. And if you drove, how many hours a day can you drive? Type it in the Zoom chat. How many hours a day can you drive? For me, I can't drive more than 7 or 8. Let's say Brian can drive 41 hours in a day. 10 hours a day. All right. So it'll take you 4 days to drive there. 2,700 miles. How much gas would that take? I don't know. Well, okay, if it's 2,777 miles and you're getting 20 miles the gallon, that's 139 gallons of gas. And if each gallon of gas costs $3.25, that's $450 in gas. Okay, $450 in gas. But what if you just got a plane and flew? What's your favorite travel website? Expedia, maybe? How much would it cost to fly from LAX? Can't see my thing. LAX to, I don't know, LaGuardia. Well, now we're looking for flights in a couple weeks here. That's fine. July 21st. Round trip. Well, that's round. Let's make it one way. How much do you think it would cost? Well, I'm just going to Uber, Mark. I'm just going to, my friend's going to drop me off at the airport and I'm going to get an Uber when I'm there. All right. $380. Now, I don't know if that's you have a 2-hour layover in Charlotte. I like first class personally. I'm not, where can you see economy? Let's do business class. By the way, my philosophy changed regarding business class, first class, because usually when I fly, it's for business, right? And it's very frustrating when you've taken a flight to business for a business workshop, or I'm hosting a workshop, or I'm participating in a workshop or a conference or whatever. And I get there and I'm exhausted and I'm irritated because I've been sitting in this cramped little chair. And the extra money that you pay for first class is usually worth it. And you get that money back many times over, because if you think about it, you spend all that time flying when you could be reading a good business book. You could be working on a marketing plan. You could be strategizing and coming up with the next campaign, or coming out, picking a new market, or building your business, thinking about your business. And so I usually, I don't say this arrogantly, but I usually try to fly first class because it just helps me so much more. When I arrive to my destination, a business meeting or whatever, I feel more refreshed. I feel more energized. I'm not drained and wiped out. So it actually pays for itself many times. All right. So my whole point in all of this is what? You want a shortcut to success. You could drive 40 hours, which is going to take you 4 days, probably more realistic, like 5 or 6 days to drive from LA to New York, or you could fly. and get there in just amount of the bet, just in a couple of hours. How long is the flight? 8.5 hours, 7, 8 hours, 9 hours. And you know what? It's going to cost you the same. You're going to get there eventually, right? But wouldn't you rather get there in 7 hours than 40 hours? So that's why coaching is so important. That's how I look at it. You're going to pay for it one way or the other. In fact, if you think education and coaching is expensive, try ignorance. Try making mistakes. Try making an offer on a bad deal. Try buying a bad deal that you lose money on. You're going to pay for it one way or the other. So let's get a shortcut. Wouldn't you rather have a shortcut? Who's interested in what I'm saying here? Who's interested in getting a shortcut? You still got a ton of people on. Are you interested in a shortcut? Yes, Niles, the answer is yes. Type in the chat. Are you interested in shortcuts? Oh, thank you. Michelle's reminding me the 7 hours. No, the 7 hours is time. That's traveling time. Or does that include the time zone changes? Yeah, because it's almost 12 hours. But if you subtract time zone changes, it's almost 9 hours of travel time. And this flight is 7 hours of travel time with a 30-minute layover in Minneapolis. Don't ever do that. That's never enough time for a layover, especially in Minneapolis. Okay, yeah. So you guys are interested in a shortcut. I'm going to talk about this. Now, a shortcut, you've got to invest some money into it, right? You understand that. You got to invest money into a shortcut. But you know what's going to happen? If you want to work with me, when you get to your destination, I'll refund you your flight. What? All right, let's talk about this. You usually need somebody who can hold your hand, answer your questions. Most of you guys already know what you need to do. You just need some accountability to help you do it. And that is what a good coach does. And I think I have something in here in a minute where I surveyed my list of what they want. Where is it here? Oh, I forget. I'll find it later. I'm not sure where it was, but I surveyed my list and I said, what do you guys want? Wait, where did I see it? But most of it was like, I just want somewhere I can go to get questions answered. Oh, I have it right here. Okay. I'll talk about it here in a second. I'm getting way ahead of myself. I want to talk about my program, and then I'm going to talk about real quick, if you want to stick around, how focus will make you rich. And I want to talk about developing a wealth mindset. I was going to talk about this at the beginning. I thought about doing it later, but if you still want to stick around with me, I'm going to talk about how focus makes you rich and how to develop a wealth mindset. But let me talk about my Jumpstart and Accelerate program, because I think this is going to be a perfect fit for a lot of you right now. Maybe you're frustrated with trying to figure all this stuff out on your own. You're overwhelmed by information overload. How many of you can relate to that? You're stuck because you know what you need to do, but you don't have the confidence to do it because you don't have a coach or a mentor holding your hand, helping you along the way. Listen, the fastest way to $5,000 is making offers, not chasing a bunch of shiny object, wasting tens of thousands of dollars in marketing in super competitive markets, losing your nights and weekends, talking to a bunch of unmotivated, angry sellers, competing against all of these other investors. If you want the fastest shortcut for doing deals, then what I'm about to share with you is going to blow your mind. Oh, here it is. I asked my students what they wanted. And this is what they said. Let me share this with you here. I asked them, what do you want in a coach? And they said, I want somebody who's available for questions to make certain any software or tech issues complete, hold accountable, always good. I sent you. Okay. I see a personal coach as someone that not only holds the students accountable, but reduces the time to success by way of helping that person avoid mistakes and pitfalls that result in lost time or money. The coach is there to not only motivate, but to provide that kick in the butt, direct assistance, ensuring all phases in the land business are set up, flowing smoothly. For me, it would be going over my current routines for starters and having you look at them and make suggestions. Boom, boom, boom. It'd be great if there was just some way to get advice when one is actually doing the deal. When I'm actually working on the deal, it'd be great to get advice. More like an experienced friend who could give me tips if and when requested. I would love to have you review my process. For example, selecting the market, working the marketing, due diligence, But for me, the most intimidating part of the whole business is the legal process of closing and selling. How does all of that work? It would be great to have someone hold my hand through the whole process for the first few times to make sure it's all being done right. Yes, so that's why I created this. Now, what if I could personally show you an easier and faster way to do your first deal? Guys, before you check out, I'm telling you, this is cheaper than anything you've ever done before. And I'm going to show you how you get your money back. So it's really free. It's actually free. Let me just ask you this way. If you were interested in me working with me personally one-on-one, and it didn't cost you anything, would you be interested in that? Type in yes in the comments, or just type in the number 1. Okay, good. Thank you. All right. Awesome. What if, this is my offer to you, okay? What if I could personally show you an easier, faster way to do your first deal and make money by flipping land instead of houses, getting leads on autopilot, without competition, without talking to sellers, without using my money to buy your deals? What if I could personally help you come up with a simple and clear marketing plan so you knew what you had to do every day and you weren't overwhelmed by it? What if I could personally hold you accountable to your marketing plan and business goals every day? What if I could be there to answer all of your questions every day? By the way, I don't outsource my coaching to some third-party sales floor in Utah, to some guy with a real thick notebook that's earning $15 an hour. My coaching, you get me. 95% of the coaching programs out there, the coaches try to outsource their coaching, and it makes me furious. All right. What if I could personally look at your deals to make sure you don't accidentally buy a bad one? What if I could give you an incredible guarantee that if you didn't do a deal or get a deal under contract within 3 months implementing your marketing plan, I would refund your money? Now, I put a quote in here. I don't know whose quote this is. Oh, yeah. This is something I put on my Facebook the other day. You don't get results by focusing on results. You get results by focusing on the habits and the behaviors that produce results. Let me say that again. You don't get results by focusing on the results. You get results by focusing on the habits and the behaviors that produce the results. And that's what I'm doing in this. So if you're interested, let me tell you what it is. But first, there's a catch. I only want to work with massive, decisive action takers. I'm only taking 10 people. Because this is so much of my personal time, I'm only working with 10. And Annie, if you're interested in lease options, I can certainly help you also. Brian, when I say without competition, I'm talking about compared to houses. Yeah. And there is some, depends on the market that you're in. Now, why am I doing this? I'm looking for case studies. I'm looking for clients that I can work closely with to get them incredibly fast results so I can showcase them and their deals in future webinars. I'm trying to train people to help me do more coaching. I also want to do more deals. Some of you might bring me deals to partner on, or maybe I can lend money on. That's why I'm doing this. So what is it? What will it do for me? Well, you get a coach. You get me. I'm not partnering with anyone else on this. I'm not outsourcing my coaching to anyone else. You get accountability in this new program. This is a brand new program I just created. I'm going to teach you how to create a simple marketing plan specific to your goals. You're going to go implement it, report back on your progress every day, and you're going to submit your scorecard to me every week. Now, why I'm doing this is I'm doing daily check-in calls now. Every day from 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time for 30 minutes, we're getting on Zoom with this small group of people. And we're going to go through, what did you do yesterday? What are you going to do today? What are any roadblocks that you're having? Do you have any questions? Can I help you? All right. Then you're going to get Voxer access with me. Now, it's like having a coach in your back pocket. If you're stuck on a deal or you have any questions, you can Voxer me your questions. I answer Voxers every day. Keep your Voxers under 2 minutes each. You can leave me multiple Voxers, but it's like a walkie-talkie for your smartphone. So every morning at 8:30 a.m., you don't have to be on those calls, but they're just daily check-in calls, okay? If you've got a question like, hey, I don't understand this deal. How do I make an offer? But it's going to be more than just answering questions. It's accountability. What did you do yesterday? How many offers did you make? How many offers are you going to make today? What are some roadblocks that you're having? Let's get rid of them. And do you have any questions? These are going to be these daily calls, 30 minutes with the group. Then you get to Voxer me anytime. Also, we're going to do a deal review. If you get a deal under contract, you can email it to me and I'll personally look at it and tell you if it's a good deal or not. We could partner on it possibly. You don't have to partner with me on these deals. I'll make an offer to buy it from you. Maybe I'll pay you $5,000 for it. Or if you want, I can even lend you money on the deal. It just depends on the deal. And I don't guarantee your promises. It depends on it's got to be a good deal that I want. But I also have a private network of private investors. I've got a lot of private investors that I've worked with that lend me money on deals. And if I recommend to them a deal for you, then they might, I'm not promising this, but will lend you money on your deal. And if they won't lend you money on the deal, it's not a good deal and you don't want to buy it anyway. Does that make sense? So you get to get me to review your deals. And if it's a good deal, I'll either partner with you on it, lend money to you on it, or buy it from you, or just give you advice and coaching on what to do with it. I'm also building a new private community where you can mastermind and hold each other accountable. And if you don't have my land course yet, you can get the digital version of the modules. This is a 3-month program, okay? And you can continue later on if you want. So let me review what you get real quick. You get a coach, you get me. I'm going to give you daily accountability. You just implement the marketing plan, report back on your progress, submit a scorecard every week. And we're going to do every weekday, I should say, weekday, 8:30 a.m. for 30 minutes. Everybody gets on just real quick. What'd you do yesterday? What are you doing today? What are the roadblocks you're having? And do you have any questions? Okay. And then during the day, if you don't make a call or whatever, you can walkie-talk me on Voxer. It's like having a coach in your back pocket. If you're stuck on a deal, I'll answer your questions once a day. Also, you can I'll review your deals. And you don't have to partner with me on it. You don't have to use my money if you don't want to, but I'll review your deals so you can be sure and confident that you're not going to be making any mistakes. Cool. And I also have a private network of private investors that I will push your deal out to my private investors. If you want, we have a private community where you can network, and this is a 3-month program. Cool. If you're interested, what's the investment? I normally sell one-on-one coaching for 25 to 50 grand. But since I'm doing this with daily short group calls and just simple Voxers that I can respond to while I'm golfing soon, I'll be able to golf in a couple months. But even when I'm here at home, doing whatever, I can handle more people and I don't need to charge as much. I do sell done for you group coaching where we set up your systems and do your marketing for you. I sell group coaching for 15 grand. This could easily be $15,000 to $25,000 like in most other coaching programs, which makes me so mad because this is what other people are charging right now, where you just get thrown into a large weekly group coaching calls. You can never talk to the main coach. You join a 5,000 member Facebook group that's dead and full of spam, and you might get hundreds of hours of videos and courses thrown at you that are old and outdated, and you get confused and overwhelmed. Can any of you relate to that? I can, because I've been in programs like that before, and it's frustrating. I wanted to do something different, something that was more personal, got people faster results. And let me ask you again, what if it didn't cost you anything? Now, to get into the program, there is an upfront deposit of $3,000, but I'm going to give you that $3,000 back after you get your first deal under contract. So if you want to continue after the 3 months, you can for another $3,000 or $1,000 a month if you want. If you're interested right now, you can go to joemccall.com/go. joemccall.com/go. And I'm going to put that here in the Zoom chat if you're interested. And when you go there, it's going to take you to this form. This offer will expire. It actually expires tonight. Well, I don't know. I might get these 10 people now, but it fills with 10 people. Now, also, I'm going to show you if you want to, if you have some questions, you can text me right now. This is not my cell phone. It goes to a program I have. Questions, text me at. Okay. So in the Zoom chat, there's that link. And you can also text me. Okay. Now let me explain this. This is my result guarantee. My philosophy is really simple. If I can't make you money, then I don't deserve yours. If you follow along with the marketing plan, you participate in the group, you submit your scorecard every week, and you do not get a deal under contract in 3 months, I'll refund you the $3,000. It's as simple as that. What do you have to lose? And why do I do this? I do this. I have refunded over, well, in my, when people buy my course, if they complete the program, I refunded over $422,000 in course completion challenge refund. So that's like, you complete the program, I refund your money. Why do I do that? Well, number one, I want to invest in people who are massive action takers. And I know that if you invest in me, I want to invest in you. And a lot of you are going to bring me deals. This starts immediately. All right. This starts immediately. So and by the way, some of you are already in another coaching program, whatever. This is different. There is no done for you in this component. Or if you're thinking about our other coaching program, there's no done for you there. All right. This is just daily accountability calls and Voxer. So I'm not going to do any of the work for you. If you've looked at my other coaching programs, I want to be really clear on this. There's a lot more that goes into that. So you need both is really what you need. So somebody's saying, I want to switch. No, don't switch, Ian. This is an additional thing that you need. Does that make sense? I want to be clear on that. So my philosophy is simple. I want to make you money. So the reason why I refund it, because this is how much I believe that it works. If you do the marketing plan and you participate and you do the work, you're going to get a deal under contract. And if you don't, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I'll refund you the $3,000. You have nothing to lose. Yes, all the calls will be recorded. All right. Love it. Any questions about that? Why so cheap? Because I want you to have some money left over for marketing, for virtual assistants. I want you to do deals. I'm setting you up for massive success. And if you just do one deal, it pays itself for itself 3 times over. Now, the marketing budget, Dan is asking, how much is the marketing budget? It really depends on you. Okay. Yes, Niles, you can. Text me at this number and I'll hook you up with that. Okay. The marketing budget, it depends. Like, so you may not have a big budget for direct mail. That's fine. Maybe your marketing plan will include more cold calling or emailing realtors and something like that. Okay. Listen, guys, I know a lady who, and this is incredible. She finds the hot markets. She finds who's buying a lot of land deals, who's an investor. She finds investors that are buying a lot of land deals, and she contacts them, calls them and says, hey, tell me what you're buying. I'm answering your questions right now, guys. So listen to this. This lady is spending zero money on systems and marketing. She finds the hot markets, contacts the buyers who are buying deals and says, what are you looking for? Okay. Then she finds out what they're looking for, what they're paying. And she goes to Zillow and Redfin and starts calling and texting for sale by owners and realtors of listed properties and starts making offers on their properties. Because if that buyer she knows will pay $20,000, she'll go and make an offer for $15,000. All right. If the seller says yes, the realtor says yes, then she just signs the deal. How much is she spending in marketing for that? Zero. How much is she spending on FreedomSoft for that? Zero. She doesn't even need FreedomSoft. Do you understand? So marketing budget is important. It'll get you there faster, but you do not have to have a marketing budget. This is why, again, guys, people are charging 10 to 20 grand, 50 grand for coaching like this. This is ridiculous. I want you to have more money left over for marketing. I want you to do deals. I want to set you up for success. And if you do just one deal, it pays for itself 3 times over. And I'm so confident that it's going to work for you that if you do the marketing plan, whether it's direct mail, whatever, you tell me what your marketing plan is. But if you say, I don't have any money for marketing, I can't do direct mail, and I'm only going to do spend 10 minutes a day doing marketing, then you're not going to be let in. I'm not going to let you into the group. It's not going to work. So you got to have a good marketing plan. This is why you need a coach to help you say, no, that marketing plan is not going to work for you. You need to do this instead. But I'm so confident that it'll work. If you don't get a deal under contract within 3 months, I'll refund your money. Okay. What do you get? I'm going to review this one more time. If you go to Joe McCall, I'm going to put this in here, put this link in the Zoom chat. Oops. Okay, see the Zoom chat. You want to sign up right now, go to joemccall.com/go. And if you have questions, you can text me at 314-596-2452. I'm going to review what you get one more time, and then we're going to talk about just a few more things. You get me as your coach. I'm not outsourcing it to some third-party sales floor. You get a daily accountability. So I'm going to help you come up with a marketing plan. You're going to implement it. This is your plan. This is whatever you want. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm going to tell you, that's not realistic. If you tell me you want to send 5,000 postcards a day, that may not work, but you're going to come up with a marketing plan. I'll review it. I'm going to help you implement it. And you're going to report back on your progress every day. And you're going to submit your scorecard every week. And we're going to have daily check-in calls every weekday, 8:30 a.m. Central for 30 minutes. What'd you do yesterday? What are you doing today? What are roadblocks you're having? Any questions? These are small group daily check-in calls. And there may be 1 or 2 days we skip, a holiday, or, there may be a time when I'm taking a vacation, then we'll let somebody else will run those calls, but somebody will run these calls pretty much every day. But even if you're not on those calls, you can walkie-talkie me. That's weird. You can walkie-talkie with me on Voxer. Voxer's free. It's like having me in your back pocket. If you're stuck on a deal, if you have any questions, Voxer me. And I answer Voxers once a day. I'll also review your deals. Let's say you get a seller that says yes, email it to me. I'll personally review it. If it's a good deal, I'll make you an offer to buy it from you, or I can partner with you on it. We'll split the profits or lend you money on it, or you can just say, no, I want to do it myself. No problem. I'll coach you through that. And if you need money, I'm going to give you access to my network of private investors. Okay. We have a private Facebook community as well. If you don't have my land course yet, you'll just get the digital version of the modules. And this is a 3-month program. All right. Any questions on that? And I'm going to move on to cover a few more things here. We're going to talk about focus will make you rich. Any questions about that? Yes, Keith, thank you. How much do the monthly systems cost? It depends on what you want to do, okay? So like FreedomSoft is $197 a month, but you don't have to have FreedomSoft. I recommend, you spend $500 to $1,000 a month in direct mail if you want to do direct mail, but you don't have to do direct mail. Awesome. Okay. So any other questions about this? So somebody's asking about my private investors. So if you've got a deal under contract and you're in my program here, you're one of my students, I will look at the deal. If it is a good deal, I will send it to one of my private investors to see if they're interested in the deal. But I'm not going to send them the deal if it's not a good deal. Does that make sense? Okay. I got a few more things I want to share with you real quick. Focus will make you rich. And it's important that you focus on the right things. And I'm going to share with you the top ways to stay poor. There's something, I wish I could remember this, but there's so many kilowatt joules of energy that come from the sun. Like a bazillion, gajillion joules of energy come from the sun and focus on the earth, right? But we're not burnt. But if you get a magnifying glass and you focus the energy of the sun onto a little tiny point, you can start a fire. That's the power of focus, right? So here are the top ways to stay poor. You can start tomorrow. Watch a lot of videos, listen to podcasts, watch a lot of webinars, and do nothing. Don't take any action. Wait for conditions to be perfect. Procrastinate. Waste time. Great way to stay poor. You can also make excuses. You can avoid the uncomfortable things. You can avoid discomfort. You can complain and blame your circumstances. Fail once, quit forever. Talked about this before, right? The people that you should take advice from are people who have bounced back. You're going to fail many times, and that's okay. But we never quit. So if you want to be poor, fail once, quit forever, give up. Another great way to stay poor is make excuses and avoid risk and uncertainty. Another great way to stay poor, take advice from poor people on how to be rich. Be closed-minded and unwilling to learn. Don't set goals or have a plan. Great ways to stay poor. You can get rich by focus. I want to talk about developing a wealth mindset here real quick, okay? Wealth is not solely determined by the amount of money that you have. It's determined by how you think about money. Financial status is determined by a person's mindset around money rather than social status, ethnicity, or a job. The psychology of rich people, poor people, and middle-class people differ significantly. So it's important to think about perspective. Different people are going to look at the same event from a different perspective. It's like if there's a car accident in an intersection and you had 4 different people on each corner of that intersection, they all have different perspectives on what happened, and they're going to have different opinions about what happened. So it's really important to think about your perspective on things. It's critical to consider your perspective on money when trying to develop a wealthy mindset. So here are 3 different psychological approaches to money, okay? You need to decide where you're going to be. Are you going to be poor, middle class, or rich? Poor people see money as primarily meant to pay bills and buy things. Middle class people focus on creating and maintaining good credit, but rich people see money as a tool for creating more money. Do you understand the difference there? Is this resonating with any of you? Therefore, guys, it's important to create systems for creating wealth. Owning systems is crucial to creating a steady flow of income and building long-term wealth. Writing a book, flipping land deals. These are examples of systems. Systems can create passive income, which is crucial to building long-term wealth. And so I want to challenge you to invest in opportunities over guarantees, even though I'm giving you a guarantee, but I want you to think of in terms of investing in an opportunity. Rich people seek opportunities while poor people, middle-class people prefer guarantees. People must adopt the psychology of rich people to seek opportunities rather than guarantees. This offer that I just made to you should have been so good that the guarantee didn't matter. If you want to do deals, if you want to fly from LA to New York, the fastest way is to get a coach to help you hold your hand and hold you accountable. What's your goal? Your goal might be to do 1 deal a month, to get $5,000 a month in recurring revenue. Have you done that before? If not, you're going to need to get a coach to help you do that. And this is my guarantee, if you need it, is if you do what I tell you to do, if you fulfill the marketing plan, hold yourself accountable, let us hold you accountable. If it doesn't work for you, we'll refund your money. That's how much we believe in this. So people must adopt the psychology of rich people to seek opportunities. Investing in opportunities creates the potential for significant wealth over time. So you can be one of 2 different kinds of people. You can be problem finders or problem solvers. You can be consumers or producers. You can be a drifter or a driven. It's up to you. Who do you want to be? Let's talk real quick about the value of time. To the rich, time is more valuable than money. Rich people use their time to make more money. Poor people trade their time for money. Wealthy people value their time and invest in creating passive income streams. This is why this accountability coaching thing I'm talking to you about is so important. Okay. I'm going to put the link again here in the Zoom chat for that. Wealthy people think differently about money. Rich people view money as a tool for creating more money rather than for consumption. Rich people have a long-term perspective on money, and they invest their money to create passive income that builds their wealth over time. So I want you to avoid the psychology of poverty. So to avoid this psychology of poverty, you must develop a wealth mindset. You should seek to create systems and invest in opportunities to generate wealth. A wealthy mindset prioritizes long-term thinking and investing in assets. It's about building a legacy, right? Thinking about your future generations. It's about investing in assets that generate passive income and prioritizing creating value. Okay, so just to review real quick, if you want to be rich, start thinking like rich people. Think about long-term wealth and assets that generate cash flow. Learn to invest in yourself, in your education, in your business. Learn to create systems and invest in opportunities that will generate wealth over time. All right. I was going to talk about that at the beginning of this. So if you're interested in working with me, go to joemccall.com/go. If you have any questions, feel free to text me at 314-596-2452, and I will answer your questions. Okay. And please only text me if you're interested in possibly doing this coaching thing. Because if you're not interested, then I'm not going to help you. Okay. But it's okay if you have questions. That's all I'm saying. Some of you are now asking about the spreadsheet. Very good. I'm going to share the spreadsheet with you right now. The spreadsheet and the mind map and all this good stuff I shared with you, I'm going to give it to you in just a second here. And I'll put this in the Zoom chat. It's going to take a minute. I'm going to share something else with you right now. I'm going to share this spreadsheet with you. The spreadsheet, we looked at a bunch of different things with it, right? Let me put this in the Zoom chat. Spreadsheet. Boom, there it is. And the mind map, I want to share the mind map with you. Here is the mind map. Ed, the coaching program I just told you about includes the digital videos. It includes digital access. It doesn't include all the bonuses and the extra coaching that I do there. So if you just want the videos and that's it of the course, yes, it includes that, Ed. All right. Are we good? Let me look at one more thing here. All right, we need to wrap this up. Let me just see if there's any other questions here in the chat. I see some of you have texted me. Yeah, so Lucy, in that spreadsheet I shared with you, that stress-free abundant lifestyle is in that spreadsheet. Cool. A lot of you are already on the mind map right now. Nice. Okay, we're good. Are we good? Yes. All right, so in the Zoom chat, I'm going to share a couple more links here right now. I shared the joemccall.com/go. If you have questions, text me 314-596-2452. I'm also going to share the spreadsheet one more time. I'm going to share the mind map one more time. Okay, let's wrap it up, guys. I appreciate you all very much. I'm looking forward to working with some of you guys.